Good afternoon, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to give you some big news, well, big personal news for me, probably not that important to you, but we'll see. I am leaving London. Wow. So for any one of you who's a viewer who's a regular Londonite, you might think, well, clearly he's given up on life. He's bored of life. This is not the case. There are good reasons to stay in London and there are good reasons to leave London. I've been here since 1999, so what's that, 23 years, and I've had an amazing time. I've made great friends. I've done some interesting work. I've made my films and my videos here, and written all my books. Well, most of my books whilst living here, and yeah, it's been great. And I've made hopefully lifelong friends. So why am I leaving? If London is so wonderful, and it is, why am I leaving? Well, it's not a very exciting reason, but primarily I'm leaving because it's too expensive. You know, it's just too damn expensive to live here. Like a lot of creative people, I'm trying to juggle having some sort of paid work with writing, filmmaking, and now board game design. And the two things are pretty hard to keep, in sync. It's quite hard to earn enough money to get by while still having the creative energy to do the work I love to do. And until I can make this the thing that pays the rent, I have to keep up my freelance work. And my freelance work is basically, I'm a copywriter and content writer. Most of my work is through websites. I work for clients all over the world, America, Canada, Middle East, obviously the UK, Australia, New Zealand, mostly English-speaking countries, but not exclusively. And it's sort of piecemeal work. I pick it up as and when I want to do some, and I try and make sure I cover the rent. But really, given the rent situation in London at the moment, everything's becoming way too expensive. I don't need to tell you about the economy at the moment. I'm sure you're feeling the pinch as well, but in London it's pretty harsh. My rent's gone up by £90, which is sort of about an 8% rise, which is of course sort of in line with inflation, which doesn't really help me, to be honest. And I just can't do it anymore. I'm just paying too high a proportion of my income is going on rent. So my solution to this is that I will temporarily relocate back to Edinburgh, where my parents are, spend some time with them, which is a great thing to do. As your parents get older, opportunities to spend time with them become more and more precious, and you should take them if you can. And I'm in a position to write anywhere, so why not spend a couple of months in Edinburgh? Of course, it's a bit weird to go to Edinburgh, to go to a colder place in winter, but I like snow, and Edinburgh can be very beautiful in the snow. So that's what I'm going to do. And then in January, at some point, new year, new hope, new plans, I will relocate. Now, the question is, where will I relocate? And I'm having trouble sort of coming to grips with that, I'll be honest, because, yeah, technically if I keep doing this freelance work, I can work anywhere that's got a Wi-Fi, broadband connection. I can work from there. So I don't even need to stay in the UK necessarily, although I can't legally work overseas without certain permits. So, I could relocate for a holiday and still catch up on a bit of work here and there, but I couldn't do that for very long. However, I could move anywhere in the UK at all, with ease. So why don't I find somewhere that's beautiful, has a wonderful community, has some of a cultural vibe to it, and where the rents are 2/3 or less of what they are in London. And I've looked at places already. There are plenty of places outside of the capital to live where that is possible. And yes, I will miss the ease with which I can see my friends, but if I choose somewhere that's on a sort of mainline train service, or within an easy drive of London, then I can come back in to see them on a regular basis. And if I stay somewhere that's desirable to visit, they're welcome to come and visit me. And I think I need a sense of neighbourhood and community, because living where I do in West Kensington in London, it's kind of a bit of a transitional place. People are there's 13 flats in this building, and everyone's sort of in a state of transit. People are here not because they've really chosen to be, they're here because it's what they can afford. They want to be in the centre of London, and they're compromising. They have to compromise. Everyone has to compromise. It's just that I want to make a different kind of compromise from now on. So I've got some anxieties about becoming too isolated. So I do have to move somewhere, I think, where there are people that I'll get to know inevitably, make friends and acquaintances quite quickly. I'm not going to go and move. I don't think I'm going to go and move to a tiny little cottage on an island off the west coast of Scotland. There's no guarantees that I might not do something that crazy, but it would have to be incredibly tempting, like a 4-bedroom beautiful house with a garden or something. And even then I'd have to have some way to get into a small town to go to the pub and talk to people now and again. But yes, I have that, and I'm fortunate enough to have that ability that I can work anywhere at the moment. The other thing is I have to try and increase my income. So I do have to perhaps apply for a higher level of copywriting work, or see if I can find myself a remote job that's a regular thing that pays quite well. That would be the perfect thing. Something where I could have phone calls and Zoom calls now and again with clients, but everything can be done remotely. And there's no reason why content writing, copywriting can't be done remotely. So that's my plan. Well, the other aspect of my plan, which is more relevant to this channel, is I'm going to do a lot more writing. So there will be more stories. I'm going to work on my novels, send more fiction out, and I'm probably going to do a second volume of short stories. Not that this one has leapt off the shelves, Running Coyote. Feel free to pick a copy up on Amazon. But it was fun to do, and I just love the fact that I've got my stories in one place where I can pick them up, show them to someone. It's the better way to keep them in, either on paper in a drawer or on a file in a laptop somewhere that nobody's going to ever read. This is something that at any point I can say, this is what I did. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, or in the wilds of Scotland, if I get hit by a cow stampede, then yes, this will outlast me. So there's that. I don't think I'm going to do another running book for a while. I've pretty much run out of ideas, no pun intended, unless I have another significant adventure. And if I do that, I will tell you about it. So yes, changing my life. Obviously, I had a relationship breakup a few years ago, and dating is difficult and expensive as well. So, if I ever want to meet my soulmate, I have to go somewhere where it's possible to do that, where I can afford to do that. So that's another consideration. And I am a little bit torn between staying in Scotland, and coming back down south. Staying in Scotland is, I could be somewhere near family, and that would help to sort of mitigate the loss of close friends. But I don't know. I'm torn. Perhaps you can give me your advice and thoughts in the comments. I just feel London, there's just a massive gap between the haves and the have-nots. It's getting wider, There seems to be more homeless people than ever. There's certainly more people living below the poverty line. There's food banks, there's charities. Every supermarket has a section where people buy groceries and leave them in a little box for food banks. That shouldn't be happening in a country as civilized and wealthy as ours. Just shouldn't be happening. I've said, it's hard to start a family. It's hard to... When you want to start a family in London, people have high expectations of income, and they have high expectations of two people, both with generous incomes, coming together, finding a nice house, starting a family. When my parents first started a family, I think they just moved out of living in a static caravan. Trailer trash. I come from trailer trash. Just kidding. Sorry, folks. So, they made it work. They didn't necessarily have a lot of money, but they made it work. And I think people just do. I know somebody recently who, a single mum, well, I say single mom, but she was a foster parent living by herself, having broken up from a relationship, and then she decided to adopt that child that she was fostering, and so she's raising that child as a single mother. So that's an amazing thing to do. I don't know how she's doing it. My hat's off to her. But I need a bit more stability, I think. So sort the finances out, sort the creativity out, earn more money, find somewhere else to live. And here's another consideration. I of course need to find somewhere stunning to run, somewhere where there are beautiful places that I can run, because I need to keep up the running. So anyway, I am not tired of life. In fact, I'm just starting a new and exciting chapter of it. But I am leaving London. And maybe I should put like a sound effect of like crashing cymbals or something. But yeah, 23 years. And unless something spectacular happens, I am leaving the capital. Isn't that a song? Leave the capital? I think it might be a song by The Fall. And on that note, I shall see you later. Goodbye. That's a weird wave. Waving like the Queen. Yep. See you in Edinburgh.